to continue with decision theory. In this session, we will see one more criteria which I had just left out under uncertainty environment, and that new criteria which we are going to see is minimax criteria. Now, just now as I said, one more criteria. Why? Because under uncertainty we had already seen the three criterion. Which were those? First, maximax, second, maximin, and third, Laplace, that is average criterion. But there the payoff matrix was sufficient. Here I specially kept it aside and taking a separate session for this minimax criteria, because here we need to prepare one more table known as regret table. Okay, so let us see how to prepare or construct the regret table and then to take the best decision using minimax criteria. So let us move further for the second slide. Now in the second slide you may observe the same example which I had repeated in my first session. But before going to that example, I would like to explain the meaning of the word what is regret. Everybody must be knowing the meaning of the word regret. Regret means what? We feel some sorry. We feel sorry after taking certain action. Suppose by mistake if you had taken an action and then we may suffer a loss or we may hurt somebody else, then in that case we feel sorry for our action taken, and that is what regret is. Okay, so we are here also, as number of actions are available. Okay, so we will be finding regret value for every action which with each state of nature, and all those regret values we are going to incorporate in the form of table known as regret table or regret matrix. Now I will just explain how to find the regret value. So once again go with the same problem. Suppose if you have two options in the beginning to start with, that is either study regularly daily for 2 hours, this is one action, and second action is study 15 days before the exam rigorously for 10 to 12 hours. Now these are the actions which are in your hand. You are going to take a decision out of these two. While the states of nature, that is question paper, may be easy, moderate or difficult, which is not in your control. These are the three states of nature. Okay, S1, S2 and S3. Again I had repeated the same values, okay, in order to explain the regret criteria. So these are the same values. Now suppose if I am showing this table to you, and let us take the example, two students among you, one of them is X and other is Y. After observing this table, X might be thinking that let me go for A1 as the best action, and Y may be thinking that let me go for A2 as the best action. So according to X, A1 is best, just by observing the table I am saying, and according to Y, A2 may be the best action. Now what happened, you can just observe. If the question paper is easy, what X will get, that is X will score 80% and Y will score 81%. Now in this situation what will happen? Who will feel sorry? Who score more? Y score more, 1% extra as compared to X, because 81 and 81% extra. So in this case definitely X will feel sorry. And what do you mean by that sorry? That is regret figure of 1%. He may think that A2 option also available to me, but as I am thinking of taking A1 and paper is easy, I may suffer a loss of 1%. That is what regret value. How we will find? 81 minus 80, that is 1% will be the regret value in this case for X, and for Y there will be 0. Why? 81 minus 81, 0% regret. But again, if the next situation, if we consider next state of nature, if question paper is moderate, then what will happen? Now X will score 68% and Y will score 55%. So definitely as X will score more, Y will be feeling regret, and regret of how many percentage? How much percentage? 68 minus 55, that is 13% regret Y may feel. Okay, that means this regret is calculated by selecting maximum among these two and then subtracting the figure. So here in this case, for X 0% regret, for Y 13% regret. Similarly, come to the third state of action. Again you may observe X will score 63% and Y will score 42. So again Y will feel regret of how much percentage? 63 minus 42, that is 21%. So this is the way we are finding each and every state of nature with respect to action, the regret values. Okay, and that we are going to write it in the form of table to construct the regret matrix. So I think you will better understand if we proceed further for the next slide. There I had just explained, I had just written down how we have found out the regret value in general. Okay, this is the original payoff matrix, and from this here the regret matrix is prepared. So you can easily observe 81 minus 80, 1%, 81 minus 81, 0%, 68 minus 68, 0, 68 minus 55, 13% less, same here 21% and 0%. So this will be the regret matrix. Okay, again we have written down all in the form of table, okay, rows and columns, and the regret values are written over there. Now suppose this regret table, instead of payoff, ready-made regret table I am giving it to you. Observe this now, forget about the previous one and forget about XY also. What in general a person will think about it after observing this regret table? A pessimistic person, suppose if we talk about, means not ready to take any risk, what he will find? He will first find what is the maximum loss I may suffer by performing A1 action and maximum loss I may suffer by performing A2 action, okay, or by selecting A2 action. So he will be finding out maximum figures among the table. So in the first column, by selecting A1 action, maximum loss would be 1%. Why? Because the three figure 1, 0, 0, maximum is 1%. And in the second column, what is the maximum loss? Maximum loss would be 21%, right? Now as this is loss, so definitely a person will try to minimize the loss. So when he will try to minimize the loss, he will select minimum among the two. Now what is minimum among the two? 1% and 21%. 1% is the minimum. And what is the corresponding action? The corresponding action is A1. So A1 will be the best decision by using what is called as minimax criteria. So just to revise once again, to find best decision by minimax criteria, one has to prepare the regret table, that is loss table, and from that loss table one has to first write out or note down the maximum loss one person may be suffering by selecting each action. So he will note down the maximum for each action, and then from that maximum he will be selecting the minimum value, and corresponding to that action will be the best suitable action using what is called as mini max. So minimum among the maximum, so it is termed as minimax criteria. I think you might have got at least some idea about how we construct and how we take a decision. So to explain it in better manner, now let us take an example where lively we will fill some figure over there from payoff and see which will be the best decision using minimax. So let us move further for the next slide. Now see here lively we will fill the figure in the blank boxes. Okay, you observe one table, dicto table is there where the elements are not, values are not written down. There we will fill the values. Okay, now here consider this payoff. Now payoff is given. In general, suppose I don't want to describe now what are the actions and all. Here I said suppose there are three actions available to a person, A1, A2 and A3, and there are two states of nature, S1 and S2, and of course these are the payoff value given. So by A1 action with S1 state of nature, 18 will be the payoff. With A2, 4 is the payoff, and with A3, 15 is the payoff, and same here as 6, 19 and 9. Okay. Now what we will do? We are going to perform a regret. We are going to find out the regret value. So for that purpose, we have prepared the blank table first, and now we will be finding the regret value. So now just observe, with S1 state of nature, what are the three values? 18, 4 and 15. So what is maximum here? 18. So these two, the person who will be selecting A2 and A3 will feel regret. Why? Because they score, or what you can say, their values, payoff values are less than the maximum one. So let us find out what will be the regret. So to find the regret, what we'll do? We will subtract all the entries in that particular row from maximum value, that is from 18. So what will be the first value here? 18 minus 18, the regret value will be 0. Okay. Next, 18 minus 4, the regret value will be 14. Next, what will be the next is 18 minus 15, the regret value will be 3. Now you might have understood. Right now you have to consider states of nature one by one each. Now go to the second state of nature. What we observe? 6, 19 and 9. So here 19 is the maximum. So we are going to subtract all the values in that particular row from 19. So come to this here now. Now here 19 is the maximum. So 19 minus 6, what will be your answer? 13 will be the regret value. In the next case, 19 minus 19, what will be the regret value? Regret value will be 0. And in the third, what will be the regret value? 19 minus 9, that is 10 is the regret value. So now these are the regret values which we have filled in the regret table. Now there is a question of taking a best decision by using Minimax. So for that purpose, let me insert one row below it where I would like to write down the maximum value and all. So I want to note down what just now what I said. A common person may first of all note down what are the maximum loss he may be suffering by selecting action A1, A2 and A3. So here a person will find out the maximum value. In short, I will write, suppose this is maximum. Come to this. Now what is maximum between 0 and 13? 13 is the maximum. So here we will write 13. Here what is the maximum? 14 and 0, maximum is 14. So here this 14 value we will write. And in the third case, A3 action, what is the maximum? 10 is the maximum. So we will write 10. Okay. Now as this is the maximum loss, so the person will definitely try to minimize the loss. Okay. So among these three values now, 13, 14 and 10, which is minimum? 10 is the minimum value, right? So as this is the minimum value, so definitely the action corresponding to this A3 will be the best action, what you can say, for mini-max criteria, right? Very sorry, I just fumbled with that word. Mini-max criteria, that is minimum among the maximum is 10, and in front of that A3 is the action. So A3 will be the best action using minimax criteria. Now see, these are what the sessions I am taking to explain all these criterion and all those things. See, just by observing or by listening only once, you may not be able to understand. You have to watch again and again, at least 2 times at a time. If you once you sit, observe it 2 times, 3 times, then only you will be able to get the points from it. So so I am just requesting you that you just go through with this, and whatever exercise I'll be giving in the notes, that you solve, try for it, and then if there is any difficulty, you may ask the difficulty when we will take online lecture. So for today we will just stop over here. Thank you.